And van life was the one thing that I felt like would give me the ultimate freedom to go and explore these alternative ways of living. This is my van, the Albion, inspired by the Swedish lodge cabin. The way we've been living in modern life is so mundane. The mortgages and the house just don't fit my way of life.
Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're meeting up with James, who's taking on van life instead of going down the conventional route.
He's got it absolutely kitted out for his full-time adventures, so definitely stick around for the full tour. Let us know in the comments what you think of the video, and if you want to see more content like this, then make sure you're subscribed. Back to it.
So my name is James and I'm a writer and speaker, and this is my van, which I called the Albion. I called it that because the true name of the British Isles was originally Albion, and a lot of my work is about rewilding and adventuring around the truth of Britain, so around the sacred springs, around the sacred sites. And so I thought, what better name to call it than what I'm doing, so the Albion. So what led me into van life? I've always felt a connection to the earth, to nature, and that the way we've been living in modern life is so mundane. So I've always had questions that surely this can't be the way that we're meant to be living. Because I look up at the sky and I see these endless stars in the heavens, and like this brilliant nature and the soil beneath our feet is just so incredible. So I thought that there's so much life that we've yet to discover. There's so much more to life than we've led to believe. So that led me into van life, and van life was the one thing that I felt like would give me the ultimate freedom to go and explore these alternative ways of living and to meet people on the road with the same perspective on life. I feel like we're in a situation and a very pivotal moment in time when perspective in general is changing in the consciousness of the planet. So we're going into a period where people just don't want to be doing the same thing every day. They don't want to be living by someone else's rules. So by living according to your authentic expression, so whatever you want to do, whatever sets your heart alight, for me it's traveling, for me it's rewilding and planting trees, meeting new people and just having experiences that the soul wants. This is all what life is about, because so many people have been living by somebody else's rules and have not been living authentically. So they're living a life not aligned with who they are. So this leaves people depressed, it leaves people searching for something more, it leaves people constantly consuming because they don't know where to fill that void. And by truly going for what you want in life, this is what makes life magical. It's what fulfills your soul. So I'm 22 years old, and for the past 4 or 5 years I've been working at a garden centre, so a normal-ish job. And even though I've been outside in nature, I still didn't feel right working in a garden centre, because it's still about the commodities, it's still not healing the things that need to be healed, the soil, it's loads of chemicals involved, and I just did not want to be involved in that sort of work anymore. So at the moment, being 22, I'm in a perfect point to truly go for what I want to do. I've saved up enough from working at the garden centres to now think, right, what do I actually want to do with the van life? And for me, it's rewilding, it's traveling, it's just living with that freedom. And the mortgages and the house just don't fit my way of life, to be tied down to bills and to all sorts of things that are just going to feed this current system that we're in. Because my vision is all about creating a new system which is in balance with the natural world. So by contributing towards a system which is based on lack and based on fear, it's just not what I want to be doing. And this van just gives me the freedom which a house could never do. Okay, so this is my Peugeot Boxer. It's a 2014 and it's an extra long wheelbase. I needed the extra long wheelbase because I felt like I needed that extra space. I've got enough room to stand up, so I feel like it's the perfect van for anybody like a 6 foot or higher. So I bought this van for $3,250. So it was an ex-Yamaha van, which was an absolutely brilliant price, because It's probably something to do with the high mileage, the 193,000 miles it's got. It's used by Yamaha. They've probably looked after it better than a workman would have done. So I thought I'm just going to still go for it even though it's got that mileage, and the price was brilliant, so I had to use that rest of the budget on my actual build. The build cost itself, I think, was about £10,000, maybe slightly less, slightly more. I've not actually got all of it written down, but that's only because I outsourced the Renogy electrical system, the windows and the air fan. So all of that does put money on the budget. You can do it for a lot cheaper, and especially with a build like I've done where it's just wood. But that's only because I had saved that money on the van itself. I thought I'd just get a professional to do the bits I wasn't too comfortable with. But you can save it. You could possibly do it for about 5,000 or 6,000, especially with just tongue and groove cladding from Berries, which is how I've done the inside, which you'll see soon. Okay, so the windows, I've got a fixed bonded window on this side, and on the other side is an opener, and I've done the reverse on this side. So this is the universal window which opens, and on the other side it's a closed one. So on the top of the van is a 220 watt solar panel, so it's given me more than enough power to power my fridge, my lights, and to charge my phone and computer. I've not got an inverter, so I don't really need an inverter for what I do. You could possibly fit one, but that's just what I've got with the solar. So underneath the van is a 75 litre underslung tank, and that is where I get my main supply of water from for washing up.
Alright guys, so these videos wouldn't be possible without the support of our sponsors, and today, that's Water Drop. So one of the biggest challenges when you're on the road is water quality. You're always going to be filling up in random places and you never know what you're getting. So what's the solution? The Water Drop 15 UA under sink water filter system.
This little system is a game changer. It uses innovative multi-stage filtration to reduce things like lead, chlorine, heavy metals, chemical impurity, sediment and other large particles. So no matter where you fill up, you'll always have clean, safe water.
So when you're on the road, you're filling up in all sorts of places like this. This is where people wash the dogs, but it could be campsites, petrol stations, or any public place for that matter. And while the water might look fine, it's hard to know exactly what's in it. But with the Water Drop filter, you don't have to worry.
So it's really simple to install. You just connect it directly to your cold water line, and installation can take less than 3 minutes. And replacing the filter, that's just a quick twist and lock done in 3 seconds. But you shouldn't need to change the filter too often, because one filter can last up to 2 years or 16,000 gallons.
One feature that I like about this filter is that it's compact enough to fit in a van and not take up valuable space. Plus, it's versatile. You can also use it in your house, for example, under the kitchen sink or in the bathroom.
This filter is made from premium BPA-free and lead-free materials, and it's an IAPMO certified filter, ensuring reliable use from inside to outside. So if you're travelling in a van or just wanting better water at home, the Water Drop 15 UA is an affordable, reliable solution that gives you great tasting water every time. So check the link down in the description to grab your Water Drop filter. And with that, thanks to Water Drop for sponsoring the video. Back to it.
75 litre underslung tank, and that is where I get my main supply of water from for washing up. But like I say, I've got a separate tank for the spring water to drink and to extra washing up water. It only lasts 4 days if I'm using it every day, and then you'll have to refill it, which sometimes can be a pain if you're off grid and you don't want to go to a campsite and it's winter and they're not open. But it is something you have to live with when it comes to living in a van, which you don't have an unlimited supply of water. So this is the back of the van. So this is my Renogy battery. So it's a 12 volt system. Without an inverter. Like I say, we've got all the controllers and how much charge I've got on the battery. So I've got 99% today because I'm getting solar from the roof. It's going up, I can see here, and I've also been driving it. So you can charge it when you're driving, you can charge it from the sun, and you can also plug it in with the charger that I've got here into the mains. The reason why it's so tidy in the back, there's not much stuff, is because, so at the moment I'm just doing a bit of a tidy up, taking everything out. I've always been living with my parents, and I've actually stayed with them at Christmas time, but prior to that I was on the Cornwall adventure. So now I'm just preparing then to set off for Wales to do the projects with the regeneration, and then to set off to Europe after that. It's an exciting time now. The spring is finally coming and the sun is shining today. I've got my book, this is my book by the way here, The Destiny of the World on Amazon. And Athena, my sister's book, which is a poetry book called The Nourished Soul. And these are some, again, books I recommend if you anything to do with holy wells, sacred springs, and in energy lines and ley lines, the spine of Albion. So these are some of the books I just keep with me at the back for reference and everything like that. So this is my book, The Destiny of the World. It's a fictitious book, and there's a young man who goes in search for the answers to life. So he heads to Bali and he meets an old man where he kind of discusses the true meaning of life and existence and why people are living in such a mundane way, what the answers are. And Luca, the character in the book, has always questioned life. Since he was a young boy, why is it so mundane? And the old man is his guide, where he then travels throughout the world, meeting so many people and building about the age of Albion, which is the age that I call this time now that we find ourselves in. So on the other side of the van, I've got the hookup point, which changed it to 240 volts. So this is where you plug it in at the campsite or at your house, and this will charge it in a relatively short amount of time compared to solar. I've not had to use it too much actually, because I've always had enough solar, even in the autumn in Cornwall, in the early winter. So I've got the fixed universal window and then the main opener sliding window with the logo, Age of Albion, Instagram and YouTube also there. And that is the whole of the van on the outside. Not too much in regards to pictures and drawings. I like to keep it more stealthy because I don't really want people to really know I'm in here. And unless you know it's a camper van, you wouldn't really be able to tell. I know the windows are here, but to anybody else, it's just panel van. By living in a van, you are always doing something new. You are always learning. You're learning from nature, you're learning from the birds, from the road, from people you're meeting. You're always discovering something about yourself. So it's forcing you outside of your comfort zone. It's all about living in the present. With sustaining this lifestyle, I've got a few rough plans when it comes to getting jobs on the road. With even the rewilding, there's certain projects that would pay, there's certain ones that are volunteering only. Not all the time I'm going to get paid for the projects I do. At the moment, I'm just going to run off my savings. So living in a van, I will always never say no to certain opportunities that will be aligned in that, and then that way I can make money on the road. But I'm not giving it too much emphasis at the moment because I just want to go for it, and then whatever comes from that, whatever projects come from that, I'll be happy with. Some of the projects that I'm going to be working on, like I say with the rewilding, is just planting trees. Is going to be working on farms, hopefully finding as many organic farms to help out on the way. That is my vision, and to get paid on that with that type of work is just a bonus. So many people are working a job that is just not contributing towards a greater collective picture. So I want to just actually do something that's contributing towards the new society rather than just the old society, and then hopefully get paid from that at the same time. So my favourite thing about van life, even before I built this van, this is how I imagined it, like you'll see soon, like the Swedish lodge style build. So I've always wanted to, it's such a cozy way to live, but also it gives you that freedom. So it's like when you shut all the doors and all the curtains are shut, it's like being in your own lodge on wheels, and then everything's all set up as you're in a house. So you can cook, you can wash, everything's all set up, even though it's a little bit harder to do the things like filling up the water tanks. Probably the problem that I've had the most, I'd probably say, is the main water tank, because I've had to stop at campsites to actually fill up, because it's only a hose pipe that you can actually fill the tank. This is my van, the Albion, which is inspired by the Swedish lodge cabin. So pretty much everything in this van is tongue and groove cladding, which is from berries actually. Yeah, just I'll show you inside. So this is my kind of Moroccan style curtain. So when I go to bed at night, I shut this off, shut all of the curtains, and then you do feel like you're in like a lodge. So if I open these, I've got a lot of storage still underneath here. I keep all like my pots and dry foods, nuts and stuff like that. All bits and bobs really in there. So in the cab, I've got my guardian, which is Hera. So it's like the Greek goddess or the mother goddess, which like guards me whilst I'm driving, which is and then also got my nana, who I've always got with me in the cab, so I feel nice and safe when I'm driving. So the ceiling, again, this is tongue and groove cladding, and it's again simple to do. I just did a natural varnish on top to keep at having a natural look. I didn't want to change the look of the wood. And then these spotlights are touchscreen, so they go blue at night, which is it's lovely when you put all the lights on blue. If you press it down, they go dim, you can see there, probably not with the camera. And they're very cheap, I think about £30 for all these lights on Amazon, and it saves having a switch as well. This area here is my guest sofa bed. So this actually does pull out into a actual double bed. Got some Moroccan cushions here, so this is where I just love to just sit, to have a cup of tea in the morning, just look out of the view, and it's comfortable for any guest that comes. Also, there's a lot of storage underneath, so if you lift this up, there's units, and then there's another big drawer underneath this side. So there's a lot of space for guests, there's a lot of space for or pans or anything you want to put under, clothes, extra room for everything. When it comes to showering, on the road I found that campsites, you have service stations, you've always got a shower, and I've also got a little portable shower which you can do it in if you don't find these places to have a shower. Then you've also got lakes, you've got the sea you can wash in. So I always feel like living basically on the land like our ancestors used to, without always having the running water, is just what I wanted to do. And in the future, if I find myself really needing a shower, I may think about putting one in, but at the moment I'm really happy with the van as it is, and I've not needed a shower. So these are hand-built units. I've got my clothes in there, and at the other side I've just got a few bits, wipes and musical instruments, just bits of everything really. So this is a hand-built kitchen unit. This is all leftover cladding with these cupboards, and then this on top is just one piece of wood. This has been more than enough room to do my cooking, to wash up. The sink is relatively small, but it's also kind of it is a cheap sink, but you don't need anything else in my opinion. It's a swivel sink, so that can also be used as a shower if you wanted to, as a rinse off. And that's another option for a shower. And then this sink is just a simple sink, I think it's about £30. So at this side of the unit, I've got my Just Campers fridge freezer. So at the side of the unit here, this is my mains if I wanted to like plug into a 240 volt system, but I've not actually had to use this yet because I've not actually had any appliances I really needed it for, because I can charge my phone using this compartment here, and then that's the computer charging compartment there. So this is all I've really needed to do, charge my phone, charge my laptop. I've got my lights above, I've got the fridge, and that's pretty much where all my electricity is going, as well as the air fan on top. So it's all 12 volts. So this is my 2-ring burner, and I've got the camping gas underneath the cupboard here. So the 2-ring burner is more than enough for me to cook what I want to do. And you can always cook loads of different types of things just on a hob. You'll be surprised what you can cook on a hob. You can even bake a pizza if you want on a hob. So I've not really needed an oven. I've not missed my air fryer. A lot of people get air fryers with the inverter, but I'm fine with the 2 hobs. So at the back is my double bed. You can sleep widthways across the van comfortably as well. So underneath the bed, these are just simple like drawers, but we just cladded the above it and then to the side of it. So these are just where I keep my tea, my chamomile tea, my breakfast tea. I've got all my books here. This is the remote for the max air fan, which is also quite good for seeing the temperature. At the moment it says 13 degrees Celsius. So you can just check if the van goes below temperature, below what you really think it needs to be at night. And the curtains at the back is just a screw, and it's just hooked onto a screw, and it's blackout curtains. So each side, at night time, it's completely blacked out, the light. And at the front, it's the same blackout curtains at this side. And at the other side, I've got another hook on. So the reason why I've done everything wood and not painted like the ceiling a different colour than the rest is I just wanted it to all look kind of like you're in nature, like you're in a cabin. And even in the day now, it's just, everything just seems more spacious when you've got everything set out in a row. You've not got things sticking out like a big shower block here. You just get what you want out of the van. Build the van as you feel like you're going to need it. But this is the way I wanted to lay it out, and I'm really happy with the aesthetics of the van with this wood. So society in general, I feel like they've got a bit of a mixed interpretation of van life. A lot of people think that, yeah, we're just there just to get away from the system and to escape and to live lazily. A lot of people's perceptions are on that way, but it's just not the case at all, because we're actually doing our own thing in our own way. So there's challenges that come with van life that wouldn't come living the conventional way. So there's no laziness in terms of van life for me. Maybe other people live differently, but in terms of the van, for me, I use it to sleep in, to cook, but then I'm out, I'm doing all of this other stuff. So to judge other people, like loads of people tend to do, judging straight away is just not the best way to go about things, because people always have a different perspective on life. They're always doing something that you don't know they're doing. So they might have a different reason for living in a van to me. Maybe it's out of complete necessity. For me, it's choice. So the society has to have a different view on not just van lifers, but everything. Just by judging people is giving a very minimal perspective on why people do what they do. So I think van life is accessible to absolutely everybody, but when you're younger without the responsibilities, you're going to have a lot more freedom to do what you want to do. But that's not to say that with a family you can't do that. I've met people on the road with 2 kids sleeping underneath the bed, the parents on top, and it's accessible to, regardless of your age, it's accessible as long as you are in relatively good health, even if you're older. I mean, the van life can even be a form of healing. So it gets you out into nature. Your health is going to improve just naturally by living on the land, in the sun, you know, going with the seasons. We're all going to have problems, but it's about how to navigate them problems in the way, if that's truly what you want to do, it's just about finding a way. There's always going to be a way to actually get what you want in the end. So for me, my dream has always been to travel to Europe, and being half Italian myself and not seeing Italy for a long time, I truly want to visit Italy. I've also got good opportunities in Portugal as well, with the rewilding that I mentioned, with the planting, and hopefully I can promote all of my work with my YouTube and the film that I've got out, the documentary, The Prophecy of Albion, which is all about the time that we're in and how important it is to connect to the land, how important water is, and how important the shift is that we're all going through together, because we're all going through the shift together. The ancients prophesied this time as the collective Great Awakening. So it's a time when we all come together and we realise our authentic expressions and then begin to express that in life. So for me, this van is an expression of myself. It's a project that I've always wanted to do for the past 4 or 5 years, and to actually see it done, my dream is to now set off to Europe and to actually go to Wales first before I go to Europe and work on this tree planting project there. From there, just to go one step at a time, one country at a time, and just to see what happens and live like that. So you can follow me on the Age of Albion YouTube, and I'm also on Instagram, and I also have my website, which is www.jamescaginelli.com, and on there I've also got my course, You Are the Power, which is all to do with healing yourself and contributing towards, you know, healing the earth itself. And it's all about a course that will allow you to find your true self, and I put a lot of energy into that, as well as my book, which you can also find on Amazon. So thank you very much for listening to this video, and I hope to see you on the road, some of you.
Alright guys, thanks for tuning in there, and a big thanks to James for sharing a story with us and showing us around.
Make sure to check him out on the socials. All the links will be down below in the description, as well as the link to James's book. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the video, and if you want to see more content like this, then make sure you're subscribed.
We've also got our Patreon for those who want to support us and see behind the scenes footage, so make sure you head over there, that'll be in the description as well. I hope you enjoyed the video, see you in the next one.